intelligence have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to the world of assassination and the subscriber contracts. And today's contract, Kill Order 3000, set in Marrakesh, and the contract ID is up on the screen now for anyone who wishes to have a crack at it, and has been supplied to us today courtesy of GTA Girl 478. So on to today's briefing. Well, there isn't one, so we're just going to say that our targets today have been rather naughty and they need to be punished. And speaking of targets, today we have 4 of them. The first to be killed with an electrocution accident in our suit, and the next 3 as a military officer, 1 unarmed, 1 with poison, and 1 with a saber. We can only get headshots, we cannot be recorded, and we must only kill our targets. So for today's challenge, we will be starting at the default location, and the only items we'll be bringing with us will be a silenced pistol and an emetic gas grenade. Everything else is available on the map. So right from the start and off the bat, we want to waste little time in getting to our first target, and what we want to do is head to the mechanic shop, grab the wrench, and continue on to the carpet shop or the headmaster's shop. We want to trigger this conversation between the headmaster's son and the young lady here, and when that plays out, we can then take care of the headmaster's son so that he is not in our way when our target arrives. And our target is on the way here as we speak, so we need to get this done relatively quickly. So once the conversation has finished, the son of the headmaster will go into the carpet shop. We can follow him inside and very quickly render him unconscious. We're going to hide his body in the crate at the bottom of the stairs, and then make our way outside the shop and into this little alcove just as our target is arriving in the area. We're going to pull out our silenced pistol, line up our shot with the plug socket, and then we're going to keep a close eye on the mini-map. And when our target passes all the white dots, we're going to very quickly shoot the plug socket, put our gun away, and move a safe distance. And that should get our target's attention, and she will go over to investigate, having a bad day significantly worsened. So target 1 has been taken care of. We're going to move on now because all of our next targets require the same outfit, and that will be the military officer. There are about 4 or 5 military officers dotted around the map. I'm going to go for one in the school. To get into the school, I'm also going to need a military elite disguise, so we're going to make our way into the shop, the shoe shop where the tunnel to the consulate is, and in here behind the counter we will find a saber, 1 of 2 on the map. We do visit both locations, so if you forget to grab this one, there is another one on the way. So once the 2 guards in the back courtyard have finished their conversation, one of them will descend into the tunnel, leaving the other vulnerable and alone. And when he has his back to us, we can render him unconscious, take his outfit, dump him in a crate, and we can now access the school grounds. So that's where we're off to next, where our remaining targets are. So we're going to take these out in a relatively slow way. There are faster methods to get to these guys, but the fastest way is not always the most theatrical. So we're going to make our way into the school grounds, duck in through the ground floor window, and make our way to the far end of the corridor. Just around to our right in the next room will be an enforcer, that is the military officer. there is another gentleman in the room. Now there is a nice easy way of doing this, but it seems to be a little buggy at the moment, and that way is to wait for the officer to go to the desk in the middle of the room, which would be his next stop, and the non-enforcer guard will stand at the window. You can then throw something at the officer and then choke the guard at the window before he turns around. For some reason he keeps suffering from the punch glitch, so we are going to throw our gas grenade at the elite soldier just to get him out of the way. That resolves the punch glitch issue. So once the enforcer makes his way to the table, we can now proceed to knock him out with the tank that we've just collected. We're going to quickly run in and grab his body and hide him in the crate in the next room. And before taking his outfit, we can then move on to our next target, who's at the far end of the corridor. We're going to dismiss this guard right here so that he doesn't see anything, and make our way into the armory where our target is on guard. Now be aware of the other guard outside in the courtyard area. Now he's going to walk past this window, so we want to wait for our target to go and take a drink. You'll see the other guard has just walked past the window in the background, and we are now clear to eliminate our target with the saber. So again, we're just going to very quickly hide his body, and before we move on to our next target, who is the prisoner of Mr. Zidane, we're going to collect up a couple of items. So our next stop will be Reza Zidane's office, and we need to acquire ourselves some poison. So Reza is on the other side of the building, so we're free and clear to just make our way into his office, grab the poison on the desk there, make our way into the classroom here, and Reza Zidane should be just coming into this room, and the enforcer officer in this room will go to meet him. That will give us an opportunity to grab the Hummer keys, and we can now make our way back downstairs and take care of our next target, as I mentioned, the prisoner. So we're going to be dismissing guards along the way, both upstairs by Zidane's office and down here by the prisoner. So the guard in the corridor dismissed, the guard guarding the prisoner is dismissed, and all we have to do is get into position and wait for said guard to finally finish his salute and leave the room. And once he does, we can now pounce on our third target, who is a melee kill, which is quite lucky as he sat in a chair. So once we have snapped his neck, again we're going to hide the body in the closet, because Reza Zidane will come to this room at some point. That will trigger a lockdown, but it is quite brief. We won't be here for that. So with that taken care of, we are left with one target, Mr. Reza Zidane himself, and he needs to be poisoned. And there's a nice easy way of poisoning Mr. Zidane. If we make our way back towards the shoe shop, just where the shoe shop owner has a cigarette, we will find a small cooking shop with a plate inside, and we're going to add our poison to that plate so long as there's no one around. The area is frequented by 2 guards and a couple of pedestrians, so just make sure that no one is around when you poison the plate. And then from there we can head towards the bazaar, and between the bazaar and the shisha bar we will find a sleeping waiter. We're going to turn on the radio and wake the waiter up, and very quickly get out of his way, because he can become an enforcer whilst he is suspicious and investigating the radio. So we just want to be a nice safe distance. And also I have experienced a glitch where at some point between here and Reza Zidane sitting down for his meal, the plate of poisoned food disappears. I don't know what happens to it, but I managed to track down the waiter, and he was back in his usual position, having delivered the plate. But once we made it to Zidane's office, the plate was not there and Zidane was not dead. So for the purposes of the video and to guarantee that the plate arrives out on Reza Zidane's table, we are going to escort the waiter all the way onto the school property, making sure that he does in fact collect the plate and he does in fact deliver it into Reza Zidane's office. So we're just going to follow him all the way onto the school grounds, and once we get there, as we are back here, we may as well go and get a nice good view of the kill itself. So the waiter's going to go the long way round and down the main stairs. We're going to cut in via the shortcut area and duck into the building via the window and make our way up to Zidane's office, which is just up the stairs here to our right. While we're up here, we'll dismiss the guards. Zidane is just making his way into the schoolroom, so his next stop will be his office after he's had his conversation there. So again, we're just going to get rid of the guard here. You don't need to be here. I'll take over from you. At this point, we should on the mini-map be seeing the waiter arriving. So he should come around that corner at the end of the corridor any second now. There he is. So he still has the plate. The plate is still poisoned. He has entered Zidane's office, and we're just double checking. He has placed the plate on Zidane's desk. So you have now served your function, sir. As you can see, my colleague here is saluting your efforts. So all we have to do now is await the arrival of Reza Zidane. I'm going to wait around the corner here. He's going to finish his conversation shortly and make his way back to his office as part of his routine. There he goes, and we're going to position ourselves with our fellow officer just outside the door and witness the end of the Reza Zidane regime. Yes, get stuck in, Mr. Zidane. Nothing beats a nice good steak. So, with our final target dealt with, all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and as we're in the vicinity and in possession of the Hummer keys, we shall take them and the Hummer as our reward. So there we go, one more subscriber contract taken care of. We're just going to get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan, and all of our objectives have been achieved. Nobody saw us commit any crimes, therefore we get a silent assassin rating. So if you have a contract you'd like me to try out on the PlayStation format, put the contract ID in any of the Hitman comments videos or videos comments, and I will do my darndest to get a video out on them. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.